make him an offer he can't refuse.
Well, I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
You think you can thank me? Give me a fucking army you're gonna thank me!
You shit-kicking, stinky horse-smelling motherfucker, you!
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Say hello to my little friend!
You guys give up, or you're thirsty for more?
Hello everyone, welcome back to Eternal Minute, and we are in week 2 of Christmas and Crime. And we are doing The Godfather Part 3 and Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas. So, first, The Godfather Part 3. Chad, what do you think of The Godfather Part 3?
So underrated. So underrated after I rewatched it the other day. The story, I'd say the story is still about as confusing as, if not more confusing, than Michael's was in part 2. Because, I mean, this story is beyond convoluted. I'm sorry, none of it really makes much sense. I mean, I get, like, the basic gist of it, but it's still, like, why is it so... It felt like too many stories being crammed into one. And I'd say the stories that, like, everything dealing with the buying of immobiliary or whatever it's pronounced, all of that was like way too complex.
So I didn't like it.
Everything with Michael and his relationship with his daughter, and everything with
Andy Garcia.
Vincent, played by Andy Garcia, that stuff was amazing. And
so good, honestly.
Yep. And before I want to say it before you, Sofia Coppola's acting. Woo!
Oh my god.
I don't think her not good acting was enough to damage the film. Like I've seen some people be like, her acting just ruined this movie for me. I'm like, it's not. Her acting isn't good, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, I think that's
I've seen plenty of movies with far worse acting in it. Like, shit, she's like on par with like Mark Ruffalo, and for some reason he got to be in like all the Avengers movies.
I mean, like, originally, remember, it was supposed to be Winona Ryder.
I don't like her acting either.
You don't? Oh, okay.
No, she's weird. One of the only movies that I actually like her in is like Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, okay. Because like I actually do like Winona Ryder, and it would have been a better choice. But man, Sofia Coppola is like okay, I'm gonna jump into the end.
She's hot though.
Even before
even
when she got shot, even before she got shot, she's like, "Dad, why are you doing this to me? You know how to do this." I was like, "Okay, I'm not believing it." I mean, like, I can't. I really can't. But okay, I'm jumping to the end. Let's talk about where Michael is.
Let's go back.
Where Michael is at. Michael is at a weird place at the beginning of 3. He is he feels guilty about his brother, about ordering the hit on his brother Fredo. So he's giving all these money to charity, to like try and redeem himself from forgiveness and all that, which is awesome, I guess, but doesn't change the fact that you killed your brother, dude.
Yeah, and I agree with what Kay said when they were talking in his study later. Like, that ceremony was disgusting, and I agree.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's almost, and Michael even says it, like, in that letter he's writing in the beginning, like, to his children, I entrusted your schooling to your mother. It's like something, he did change, and it's hard to tell how long after the events of the end of Godfather 2, but it couldn't have been that long. He had to have changed almost right away for him to have said, I entrusted your schooling to your mother. So it's like, he gave up his kids to Kay knowing they'd live better lives with her than with him quite a ways back. So it's like, I think it's almost like he's been on this slow redemption path ever since he ordered the hit on his brother.
Yeah, he's trying to like redeem himself and find some forgiveness. And I like that arc, we eventually learn like at the end of the movie like there is no forgiveness. What's done is done, and you're gonna have to pay the price for it. And we see the price to be paid later when Mary gets shot. We're gonna get to that later. But one of the things I didn't really like was personally was the absence of Tom Hagen. He's not in this movie.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I don't get why Robert Duvall didn't want to come back.
Well, supposedly, like Paramount didn't offer Robert Duvall enough money to come back, so he didn't.
He wouldn't really have had a place in this movie, I don't think. So I'm of two minds.
They mention him.
They mention his death.
Yeah, they mention his death. They mentioned that he died off screen. I was like, "Jeez, Tom Hagen is one of the best characters in this movie, in this saga of crime." And
even though we barely talked about him last week.
Yeah, okay, fine, yeah, fair. But
no, I agree. He was like that good outsider insider, if that makes sense. He was like in the inner circle, but not being blood family. He still was like an outsider. And he was like an interesting character that like was able to give the different view. I mean, that's why he was Vito's what was his title?
Consigliere,
yeah. And it's like it was a good it was good. And it's like, yeah, his presence was missed. With the story that they told, though, I don't think there was a spot for him.
Yeah.
This story that they told.
I know, I understand, but like it's hard. But like, it makes up for it honestly with Andy Garcia, who was like honestly one of the best characters in the Godfather story. He really is. He plays Sonny's bastard child, but like honestly, like I can see Sonny in him. Like at one scene where he's holding the robbers like a gunpoint, and he has like, and he's like, "I'm gonna do something to convince you, right? Don't talk, don't make any sudden moves, just watch me, okay?" Boom! And
blows the dude heads off.
And then the robber's like so shocked, like, come on, drop a knife, give the girl to me. Okay, you go. Okay, yeah. Who sent you? Joey Zaza? Boom! And then that's it. And I was like, oh shit.
Vincent was great because
Vincent was so great, honestly.
He was. You could tell he was, like you said, you could tell he was extremely hot-headed. It was obvious he had Sonny's blood in him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he had a little bit of Michael. He had that temper that Sonny was never able to get control of. Yeah. And you could see Vincent's evolution through the movie, where he had that fiery temper, but he was able to rein it in and slowly start to become more like Michael. Like, I do have to do more forward thinking. But his hatred of Joe Zaza obviously was what carried him the first two acts of the movie, I'd say.
Man,
up until his death.
Man, okay, honestly, the assassination of Joey Zaza is my second favorite hit in the entire Godfather.
That's one of the best. That's easily one of my favorite scenes of this movie.
When Joey Zaza is walking and then like there's a kid, doing things with the car, like you can tell that this guy, like this kid is like he's onto something. And like, it cuts back to that guy in that white sheet mask. He pulls out a shotgun, he shoots Joey's guards, and like Joey's running, and it's like people catching up to him. He's like, "Open the door!" And this cops like come in, like, "Okay, so shit, the authorities are here." Like that the hit's done, and then it turns around, and it's fucking Vincent, and then he's like, "How are we doing, Joe?" And he's like, "Oh shit, I'm fucked." Like, boom, Zaza, and they're like, "Oh shit."
And of course, nobody there is going to be able to say anything. They just thought it was a cop.
Yeah.
So Vincent got away with it clean, but Joe deserved it. He wiped out a whole room of Dons. He got what he deserved.
Oh yeah, he did. I mean, like, technically, like the biggest bad guy is the church. Like the church is what is.
I don't really. That's what I meant when I said this story was convoluted.
Yeah.
I still don't really know who the villain was.
Yeah.
And I didn't quite understand all of the hits at the end of the movie either.
But like you can kind of tell also the hits at the end were super convoluted. Like, okay, who died and why were they important again?
like, I get why the Pope was killed, because the Pope that was elected in was kind of like going to go against the grain of what the church itself, what their agenda was. Even though you think he would have had a little more protection somewhere. I mean, he was killed pretty easily with poison tea. Like, wow, that was not difficult in the slightest, but okay. But from what I read, this was a parallel of the time to something that actually happened.
I have no idea.
I'm not entirely sure. Someone who's read the book, someone who knows their history better than us, let me know down below or something. I always appreciate when you guys do that. But to me, the biggest strength of this movie, and I almost feel like this was sorely lacking in part 2, is the growth of Michael and the relationships of everyone he has around him. It's huge in this movie, and that's what I loved about it.
I love, honestly, the confession scene where he's talking about one.
That scene was incredible. And when he broke down and confessed it all.
Like, I killed my brother Fredo. Like, he's crying, and then you can feel his sorrow. Like, I killed my father's son. The son I was sworn to protect. I killed him. And I was like, yeah, you did, dude. And you're not going to be... That's something that is unforgiven, and that's something you're going to pay for forever. And we're going to see what happens later at the end when he's going to pay for it. And I love that he even does his best to, like, have a relationship with Kay. Like, when he's like walking with Kay in Sicily, like, he's not anymore Michael Corleone, the Godfather. He's Michael, trying to be Michael, the guy that he fell in love with, you know, the guy that Kay fell in love with, which I love. Like, he's like, even though
it's far too late, it's like he's giving it his all. But what I love about Diane Keaton's performance as Kay in this movie is, it's like, no matter what he does, it's too little too late. And it's almost like Michael is still fighting that, but the attitude Kay has is, we can be cool, but I will never love you again. It's not possible. After everything you've done, after everything you've put me through, the life you've lived, you can try to go with this redemption all you want, but you're not going to win me back. It can't happen. It won't happen. And it's like the fact that Michael still tries shows that it's like there still is that good human of him left in there somewhere that was buried long ago when he had to perform that hit, like you said last week, on Sollozzo and McCluskey. Yeah. It's like that human of Michael that Kay fell in love with. He was in there somewhere, but he was lost in the world of crime.
Yeah, he really was. I mean, like, it feels like he really was. I mean, like, when Michael's doing his best to, like, you know, trying to get Kay to fall in love with him and to see if they have a relationship. But it's just like, it's almost like, and I could honestly think, like, they were so close to having it again. And we were so close to, like, coming back and, like, doing it. You know, if not for them, at least for the kids, at least coming back for the kids. And then, man, it just all
real
goes
quick on the kids. Okay.
Fuck the son,
I completely understand his son's desire never to work for Michael. Well, hey, props to you, dude. I get it. You know the world, all this. You don't want to be part of the crime, 100%. But I'm sorry to be that close to finishing law school and saying, "Fuck it, I want to go sing opera." I would have literally looked at Kay and been like,
"Is he shading?"
No, he's going to finish, then he can go do opera. No, and it's like, I get the whole, I'm one semester away and I'm quitting just to give you a middle finger, so I can never be under your power. But it's like, dude, the age you're at, grow up. If opera doesn't work, you need a fallback. At least get the damn degree.
And you know, you don't have to work for Michael. There are other lawyer jobs out there, like a billion, like that are not under Michael's, like, control.
Well, and even like I said, even if he does want to do opera, fine, go for the opera, but just finish it. You're this damn close to getting the type of degree that so many people like would dream of having.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get it that it really was like a stick it to you, Dad. I hate you. I hate what you've done to our lives. But at the same time, it's just like I'm looking at it and I'm like, you fool. you're screwing over your own life in the long term just to stick it to your dad.
Yeah.
But and the funny thing, that's almost all there is to say about Michael's son. Like I can't think of anything else. Is there?
Nope.
So turning to Mary, what do you think? Best actress?
I don't like the incest plot they have. The incest plot they have. Okay. To be honest, I'm gonna say this right now. If it was in Italian culture, I won't know anything about it. If that's okay, cousins, that's okay. I'm fine with it.
Santino and I were talking about it off air. If it is something that's like tradition or something from Italy or something like that culturally accepted, let us know. I'm genuinely interested because it was like, but at the same time, I do feel like they pushed it pretty hard for a mainstream movie and I never really see anyone complain about it. So that's why I think it did have something to do with the culture. It was still odd, but at the same time, it's like I said, maybe it was cultural. I'm not sure. If anyone out there knows, let us know, please.
Yes, please, because like I don't want to get it wrong. But when Mary started kissing Vince, I was like, dude, you're cousins. You have the same. Your brothers are related to each other. You're first cousins. I can't see it like that. I mean, come on, man. I mean, dude. Mary wasn't really the best actress, but she pulled off some emotional scenes.
I thought her chemistry. I thought Sofia Coppola's chemistry with Al Pacino was actually pretty damn strong.
Yeah.
I thought like the father-daughter bond that the two of them had, I thought it was actually really good.
Yeah. And
like the spot when she was questioning, like, why am I in charge of this organization? Like, is it just because I'm your daughter? Is this something good you actually want? Am I just a face, a front? I thought that was actually a cool scene when they were eating together up on the rooftop.
Yeah, honestly, because like there are nice scenes, but it's just like, man, she really needs to she really needs to improve. But it's fine. I mean, like it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it didn't ruin the film. Like I said, some people are like, "Oh, it ruined the movie." I'm like, it didn't ruin the damn movie. Get over it.
That movie, it was fine. And I think the best part of the whole movie is the opera scene, where everything's happening.
The like final third, like the final like last like what half an hour of the film, where it was just like a giant opera. That was just so, and that's where, like I said back in the first one, all three of these films have like an incredible like artistic value to them, and I thought that was just like incredibly artistic, setting the entire finale during an opera.
Yeah, and having like Talia Shire choke out her Godfather with poison cannoli, and then having
that was genius.
His Michael's men like strangle the guy, and like they're all like coming in, and then like the one guy they're supposed to take out, the assassin for Michael, they didn't take out, and like, oh dude, it's gonna end up going really bad somehow. I know it. And then like I remember that, dude, that ending again. Why is it always
so real quick before you touch on the ending? This was your very first time watching this, right?
Yes.
So did you think when you knew that the assassin was still there, did you think that was where did you think Michael was going to die on those opera steps?
Yeah, I did. I really thought that, okay, so the assassin failed to be taken out, and Michael's gonna die on those steps of the opera with his family like all there. So like the guy was dressed as a priest. He sees Michael coming in. All right, here we go. And then he pulls out the gun. He shoots, and then like, and again, I was too distracted by Sofia Coppola's bad acting. Like, Dad, why are you doing this to me? You don't have to do this. And then he shoots, assassin shoots Michael, and then I was like, oh fuck, okay, shit, Michael got killed. And then Andy Garcia has that smile on his face when he shoots the assassin, like bam, bam. And then we figured out the bullet actually just grazed Michael and shot Mary. I was like, oh fuck, that is way worse than death.
Yeah, no kid. And I think you were telling me this off air. Al Pacino's performance when he realizes Mary was dead. That shit. Did that win him an award?
I don't think
Because
so.
it could have.
Man, holy shit! Like his scream was so. That's why Al Pacino is one of the best actors in Hollywood. His scream was amazing. I was like the sorrow and the pain that happened when Mary gets shot and killed. The one thing he tried to do time and time again. The reason why
Basically the only person he had left who actually like felt like she respected and cared about him
died, and it was so sad. And you look at Kay's face and the anger and sadness that she has. I can tell.
That shattered any relationship she and Michael ever could have tried to fix.
I can tell. Like after that night, she packed her bags and cut off all contact with him. I can tell. And like the ending shot, what does the ending of The Godfather always get to me? The ending shot is like when Michael remembers his time with Kay and his time with his first wife, his time with his daughter and his family.
Beautiful.
And he's sitting in this cheap chair in this disgusting place with a dog, and he's just remembering alone. No, Sonny's dead, Fredo's dead, his sister's probably gone too, his parents are dead, his wife has left him, his daughter's dead, his son's probably estranged,
Son probably hates him.
Tom Hagen's gone, and he just slumps to the chair and dies. From a lonely king to a lonely dude who no one remembers.
To having the whole world, to dying alone in front of some crappy little house in somewhere in Italy. Alone. Nobody there who cares about him. No one talking to him. No one holding his hand. Just falls off the chair. That's the end of him.
Poetry.
Like it really was. What a hell of an ending. Seriously. That's why it's like whenever I see people say like this one's not good, it's like this movie is filled with good things.
Yeah.
It's just got a lot of it just has a lot of disconnect because it takes place in a different time period, but it's also a different story, and it's still called The Godfather. It's still the story of The Godfather. And I thought it was a good ending. I don't think there was any other way that they could have ended this.
Oh yeah.
Because I think that him dying where he did was much more poetic than getting killed on the stairs. Because he probably would have preferred getting gunned down or something.
Oh yeah.
Rather than just dying alone with nobody there except a dog. So what a hell of a trilogy, huh?
Yeah. So immediately out of The Godfather, we go to, for the longest time, I always wanted to be a gangster. what a different tone shift from Godfather 3 to Goodfellas.
I know, right?
Because Godfather begins with opera and like in the Goodfellas, and it's a car. Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro, Ray Liotta, guy there stabs like this fucking guy. Like, oh shit, this is completely different. I love Goodfellas. I love Goodfellas.
Good.
One of the perfect mob movies ever. What do you think of Goodfellas, Chad?
Goodfellas is amazing. Good. So when it comes to mob movies, my two favorites, and I am always so I cannot pick a favorite between the two of them. Between Goodfellas and Casino, to me they are tied. They're an absolute tie because it comes down to which one I watched last. So it's like having just rewatched Goodfellas, like right now I'm saying Goodfellas is better than Casino, but we're doing Casino near the end of the month. I guarantee I'm gonna say I like Casino better when we get to that.
The last one we're gonna do.
I think Casino's the last one we're doing. But it's like Goodfellas is just Goodfellas to me is Scorsese at just his absolute prime. The way he directs all of these actors, this movie is just honestly, like I said, when it comes to the difference between like Godfather and Goodfellas, there is a much more, I'd say, an artistic feel to the Godfather films, whereas this one, Scorsese has his own art form, and he delivers. That's all this movie does, is deliver on every single fucking level that it has. The script, the story, the acting, the violence, everything is just straight up A+ across the board with this.
Oh my god! And like I was watching this and I was like, damn, Goodfellas is like Goodfellas a lot better than I remembered it to be. And even like I saw a comment that was so perfect. It basically said that the Godfather is what the mob wishes it was. Goodfellas is what?
I didn't say anything.
Oh yeah, basically I was saying that the Godfather. I saw a comment that was perfectly exampled it. The Godfather is what the Godfather is what the mob wanted it to be. Goodfellas is what it actually was.
I don't know. I mean, Godfather was pretty believable for the time being. Yeah, I mean, it's just different time periods, though. I mean, because this took place in primarily in the 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 70s and 80s. So of the big three, De Niro, Liotta, and Pesci, which character was your favorite?
Pesci, dude. What the fuck? Of course, Pesci. I love Pesci in this. Pesci deserves the Oscar. I mean, insane.
And how did he say? And what was his speech for winning? Was that speech for this one?
Yeah, it was. It was like, very appreciated. Thank you very much. It was like, yeah.
Such a soft-spoken man. Such a soft-spoken speech after coming off of just like the violent psychopath he plays in this movie.
This is Pesci. Dude, did you know that Pesci murdered Samuel L. Jackson in this movie?
I loved it. And I love it. What a hell of a name that Samuel L. Jackson had too. Stax Edwards.
Oh my god. And then I love the line, right? You're always late, Stax. In fact, you're gonna be late to your own fucking funeral. Like, oh my god.
This movie has some of the best one-liners of all time in it. And I think, you know what one of my favorites is? One of my favorite one-liners from this movie actually comes from De Niro. It's when that what was that guy's name? Morris, that like fat fuck or whatever.
Yeah.
That they like killed, they just like randomly killed him because he was like irritating as fuck or whatever. And then Liotta, Henry, is like talking with Jimmy, and he's just like, Jimmy, shit, man, his wife keeps calling me. I don't know what to do. And he's like, who gives a fuck? Tell her you ran off with some broad. What do you care? I'm like, you heartless monster.
Oh my god. And it's like I'm watching this movie and I love everything about it. I love the characters. I love Henry Hill. Henry Hill, like, he's us. He's like, we are in the mob with him. And I love what De Niro says, the line says, never rat on your friends. And always. And what was the second part of it? Never rat
always remain loyal.
And always remain loyal. Yeah. Like,
I'm pretty sure that's what. That's all we do is butcher these amazing lines.
Oh my god, and it's awesome.
I always love that scene at the beginning when Henry like buys a suit. Look, I got a new suit. Oh my god, my son's a gangster.
I also love it has some pretty crazy moments, like when the Henry gets beat up by his dad, and then like the mob goes after the mailman, and like from now on,
did they like stick it? They stuck his head in an oven or something, didn't they?
Yeah. From now on, you only come. You deliver mail to us, and we will see. We will read it first before we actually deliver it. Well, that's actually pretty smart, you know.
It really was. Just everything about this movie is smart. Like The funny thing is, almost short of like just talking about different scenes, I really don't know what there is to say about this movie, because it's like I don't have anything to complain about. Like I genuinely can't think of a single complaint I have with it. And it, you know what? I'll say it. I actually have a massively embarrassing story to tell about this movie. So when I bought this movie, I'd heard of it. I hadn't seen it yet. I still can't believe I did this. I bought the DVD. This is back in the day with those flipper discs.
Yeah.
The one I had, like, it wasn't marked or some shit.
Yeah.
So I put it in. It started playing the second half of the movie.
Yeah.
So the first time I watched this movie, I started at the middle and I watched the second half. And then I was like, that was short as hell. And then I flipped it over and I'm like, oh, this is the beginning. God damn it. So my memory will always be watching it completely out of order.
That probably didn't make any sense to it.
It didn't, but the weird thing is I still enjoyed it. I had no clue what was going on, but I really was able to pick up what was happening by just paying attention. And I understood most of it.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. But also, you know, my favorite scene in this movie is I know this is, I guess, sounds super cliche, but my favorite scene in this movie is what the fuck is so funny about me?
That's like one of the most like iconic like monologues ever in film history.
Like, I'm a clown.
Because it's perfect. Because Pesci is scary. Like, when he gets angry, he's really someone to fear in these films.
Yeah, I really see it in this one. Like, what the fuck's so funny about me, huh? What else so funny about me? I was like, oh Jesus, I don't want to be.
What, when he fucking kills that kid who like tells him to like fuck himself or whatever?
The spider, dude, like when he made Spider.
Yeah.
Like he made Spider dance, and I was like, all right, he's gonna shoot him in the foot, and like, okay, yeah, he shoots him in the foot. And then when the mirror's like, what's the world coming to? And he pulls a gun and shoots him again, and this time it's like all here. It's like, that's what the fucking world's coming to, man. Good shot. What do you want me to And then he's like,
Jimmy just busses him out. Jimmy's like, the fuck is wrong with you?
I love, honestly, my favorite mob hit is Billy Bats in the restaurant.
He deserved it.
When he pissed off Pesci, he's like, now go get your fucking shine box. And then
get your shine box. Amazing.
And then Pesci's like, motherfucker. Like, keep him there. And like, and then talking like, and Bats like, I did about shine, you know. And then Pesci started like, he grabs the twine and he wraps around his head, and they keep on beating him up. And we just lost because he's a made man, and you can't kill a made man without permission.
Well, he wound up doing it, and look what happened to him.
Oh my god.
Pesci's death in this one, that was fucked.
That was so sad, honestly. It was
brutal.
He looks up and he's like, oh no, but boom!
Boom.
People, this is why, like, what a tone shift from Godfather to Goodfellas, because Godfather was all quiet, soft-spoken, and like discussions with the family. And this one's like, it's hits everywhere, punches everywhere.
This movie is violence and swearing, and you know what? It's like I said, while I love Godfather, it's like Scorsese has always been so damn good when it comes to the dialogue in his movies. He is just, oh my god, he is just a magician, perfect when it comes to dialogue. And just the way Scorsese does his camera shots, like that camera shot going over like all the gang hanging out at the bar or whatever, listing off all their names.
Like,
and everyone, like, camera comes by, hey, what's up? It's like genius. It was perfect.
And then Jimmy 2 times, like we call him that because he says everything 2 times, like I'm gonna get the papers. It's like it's amazing.
It's like he finds a way to take like these quirky characters and like absolutely make them work.
I love the wife also. The wife.
Oh yes, Karen. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, that chick held her own damn strong
Yeah.
against Henry.
Yeah, like she even told like the horror of like Henry, like you know, like get away from me, get away from this family.
I mean, she had the balls to put a gun to his head
Oh
when
my
she found
God,
out
that
she
was
was,
so awesome.
he
I
was
was like,
cheating on her.
and she's like, do you have any idea what I have to wait for? I come to this, and I love it. And Robert De Niro, man. I mean, like Robert De Niro's been in a lot of gangster movies. This is like one of my favorite roles for him.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I agree. We're not even mentioning like the big name of the movie, Paulie. Like Paulie was like the Godfather of this movie, basically. And
Yeah. Well,
like,
I felt bad for him. It was like when Henry betrayed him and like he gave him like the 3,200. It's like, now I gotta turn my back.
and what I agree, because what I liked about Paulie was literally Paulie just said, stay away from drugs. So it's like, in a way, Paulie was a respected figure, and it's like, I feel it was fucked that Henry ratted him out.
Yeah.
Like, it almost makes you look at Henry in a different way at the end of the movie. Like, no, this guy's the scumbag. Like, yes, all these people were involved in organized crime, but it's like, no. I mean, even Jimmy fell to the wayside, though. Like, remember when he tried to have Karen killed?
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah, and it's like, I have to give respect to Paulie. I think well, obviously I don't condone criminal activities. It's like, I feel bad for him because he was a respectable criminal that got ratted out by somebody he'd known for almost this kid's whole life, and then he just turned on him.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I mean, I like a friend of mine actually did a report in school on the actual stories of these guys' lives, and I wish I could find it, because he did a damn good job. Like, he did it in college, so it was very well written, well thought out. It was really interesting when I read it, but I mean, he wrote it like 15 years ago, so I don't really remember it. But I mean, it was an interesting story that this was actually based on.
Yeah, for sure. And I did like basically, it's like it spans 3 decades of like this crime and this crime family, and basically everyone's doing awesome things. And well, I don't condone criminal activity, but like, what they did was like the robberies they conducted, you know, the train robberies, when what they were taking was awesome. Like the cigarettes they were stealing, the alcohol. It was all like we were witnessing an event, like these people's lives play out, and it was never boring at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so sad the way it ended, honestly.
What, with everyone going to jail except Henry now being under a witness protection program?
And what did that last shot mean to you? The Joe Pesci shooting Henry, like his ghost shooting Henry. Like, to me, remember, like it was like I gotta live the rest of my life like a schmuck, and then it shows Joe Pesci like shooting the camera, that bam 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 bam. And then, I think it was just like a leave it up to your interpretation type thing. And to me, it always meant like he's now gonna spend his whole life like looking over his shoulder because the mob will be after him.
And how did he describe it? He's like, we're in witness protection. Like, he said something like, I ordered some spaghetti and it was just like some noodles with ketchup or something.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie is when they have to dig out the dead body of bats. Like,
oh my God.
One. That was like, oh, that's gonna smell bad from here. And then and Joe Pesci's like, here's a leg, here's an arm, here's a wing. Like, dude, I mean, come on. Which one do you want, Henry, huh? The leg or the wing? I was like, dude, that's a dead body you're digging up.
I know. Hey, that just shows how many people those guys actually killed. To just, who gives a shit? But I'll give it, I think probably one of my favorite scenes has to be that whole monologue that Henry's giving when he's tweaking hard. And he's going through like the monologue of like his entire day, where he's picking up his brother, they're trying to make dinner,
Oh, yeah.
He's meeting up with his dealer. I thought that was an amazing sequence of events. I thought they did a great job with that one. And or what is it? That scene when the cops raided this house and his wife flushed his entire stash. And he started just screaming at her, Karen, you fucking idiot! That was everything. The cops weren't gonna find it. They were gonna find it. No, they weren't gonna fucking find it. We don't have shit now.
Oh, that was like at that moment, Henry really lost everything. Like the whole day, this cop was chasing him, and honestly, it was also super sad when Robert De Niro got that phone call that Joe Pesci died.
Mm-hmm.
He starts kicking the fucking phone booth. I was like, dude, it's gone. I'm sorry.
Yep. And it's like at that point, that's when he knew. Like Jimmy was already paranoid at that point, because of all the people who were out splashing out money from the robbery. And it's like that just elevated it even more. Like he's even more terrified now that he's gonna get caught and go to prison too. So it's like, I mean, shit, that's why it led to him almost getting Karen killed. Because he's like, I have to wipe out everyone who knows anything about that robbery.
Yeah.
So I don't. What do you have left? I mean, like I said, I don't even really know what I've got to say short of
negatives. I really tried honestly to think of negatives, and I cannot find any.
I can't either. This is one of those like near perfect films, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure. I really did love it a lot, and I think Goodfellas like it really stands as one of the best crime movies out there.
Easily, without doubt. And like I said, always jumping between this and Casino. So it's like right now I'm saying this is the best. And like I said, when we get to Casino, because I'm going to rewatch that for that, I'm sure Casino will be my favorite by the end.
So yeah, basically that covers Godfather Part 3 and Goodfellas. So next week we'll be covering two more Martin Scorsese iconic films, The Departed and The Irishman.
One of the longest movies.
Still awesome though. So I can't wait for you all to see it. I'm Santina signing off.
I'm Chad. Thanks for tuning in.